Americanpickers star Fritz's dad and friends to battle over his $6 million estate at trial 1 year after his death. Hello everyone. My name is Emma. Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like. Americanpickers star Fritz's dad and friends are heading to trial in a nasty battle over his $6 million estate 1 year after his death. Frank died on September 30th at age 60, 2 years after he suffered a stroke that left him debilitated, and under a conservatorship and guardianship controlled by his close friends. Sign up for the U.S. Sun newsletter. Your info will be used in accordance with our privacy policy. Frank filed a will prior to death in October 2023, as an Iowa judge approved the Americanpickers star's final wishes weeks after his death. But Frank's dad, Bill Fritz, contested the will in February 2025, claiming to the U.S. Sun that the documents are fake. Now the U.S. Sun can exclusively reveal the parties are preparing to continue the battle at trial 1 year after his death. A source told the U.S. Sun, a trial date is set for November 2026. In court papers viewed by the U.S. Sun, which have been sealed to the public, Bill must show that he is entitled to relief. The documents continue that Bill alleges Fritz's decision-making capacity was so impaired that he was unable to make, communicate or carry out important decisions concerning his own financial affairs. Bill must show Frank did not understand the nature of the will, and that the injuries, meaning compensation, suffered will be worse than the injuries the estate will beneficiaries will suffer. The next step in the case is for the parties to turn over evidence and witnesses. Bill told the U.S. Sun of the proceedings, looking for the trial to fight the fake will that was written. Americanpickers alum Fritz's friends plan to hire impersonator of late star, standing in jail cell for memorial. I feel sure that I will win this case. The will was totally fake. The people that are doing it were just people that helped him. I had a good relationship with him, and they're just trying to get in on something that they shouldn't. A source from Frank's friends trying to block the will from Bill said the reality star did understand the terms of the will. The insider claimed, Frank understood language, but struggled to form words or speak fluently. This was from his stroke. Frank found different ways to communicate for sure to everyone around him. The more you were around him, the easier it was. A lawyer for Bill did not respond to the U.S. Sun's request for comment. The Des Moines Register reported in February 2025 that Frank's father Bill filed to challenge the will. The local outlet claimed Bill is challenging the will on the grounds of the judge's finding that Frank does not have the capacity to execute any legal documents on his own behalf. He also claims the will was not properly signed or witnessed. The case has officially been sealed to the public, as only the parties involved have access to the information. Frank's dad previously told the U.S. Sun of his decision to fight for his son's estate. It is a fake will. He did not have a will. He did not sign it. I am his only loved one. I am his only survivor. None of them are related to him. I am the only relation he has. All the others are trying to get money. They are nothing but people who worked for him. Bill went on to explain his close relationship with Frank through the years, including summers spent deep-sea fishing at his home in St. Thomas. Bill's social media page features throwback photos of the father and son on vacation and at events together. But Frank's friends are insisting his father was barely there during his health struggles. A source close to Frank involved in the fight to protect the estate from Bill told the U.S. Sun at the time, he's asking for the whole estate. He wants the will to be thrown out so his money will go to the nearest relative, which his father had very little to do with Frank. He only came to see Frank once when he suffered the stroke. The insider insisted the will is valid, despite Bill's claims. The source explained how while there were some concerns about Frank's mind when he suffered the stroke, he made all of the decisions a brief time after therapy. The insider continued to claim, he was making all decisions himself. It was the guardian's responsibility to carry out Frank's wishes, which I assure you he did. The courts have already accepted it. They just have to accept it again now. The source even claimed Bill was offered a role in the guardianship since he was Frank's only living relative, but he allegedly refused. Bill did not comment to the U.S. Sun on why. He was not involved in the guardianship. He could have come up at any time to declare him and didn't, the insider said, as Frank's friends took on the responsibility. The insider added, Just because Bill is blood does not mean he has the right to take away Frank's last wishes. Frank's estate includes his fortune, belongings such as his vast motorcycle collection, countless rare antiques, and his $155,000 Iowa farmhouse. The Des Moines Register estimated his estate to be around $6 million. Frank suffered the stroke at his Iowa farmhouse in July 2022. The U.S. Sun broke in August 2022 that loved ones filed a conservatorship and guardianship on behalf of Frank. His friend Chris Davis acted as the guardian, while Midwest One Bank is the conservator. The documents obtained by the U.S. Sun read, "Because of his stroke, Mr. Fritz's decision-making capacity is so impaired that he is unable to care for his own safety or to provide for necessities such as food, shelter, clothing, or medical care without which physical injury or illness may occur." Frank was also unable to make, communicate, or carry out important decisions concerning his own financial affairs. An exhibit was filed in the court papers from a doctor, claiming Frank does not have decisional capacity. The legal papers continued, "Decisions must be made for Mr. Fritz's care and placement, while he continues to recover and receive treatment for his injuries. Appointment of a guardian and conservator is necessary to avoid immediate harm to him." The initial plan filed by Midwest One Bank mentioned his assets. The court papers read, "Mr. Fritz is a well-known collector and has numerous outbuildings full of valuable collections. The conservator has not yet inventoried those items but plans to leave them largely as they are now, with the exception of stocking Mr. Fritz's antique store in Savannah, Illinois as needed." The documents revealed Frank's annual income of $60,000 from investments, per his 2021 tax return. Frank was unemployed at the time of his stroke and had no debt listed. While memorial plans for Frank, which include driving his ashes through Iowa's Quad Cities on a motorcycle for one last ride, are on hold because of the court battle, the Americanpickers star's loved ones came together for a dedication for him on Memorial Day weekend. Frank's good friend and owner of his store Frank Fritz Finds, Jerry Gendreau, told the U.S. Sun multiple bands the late star knew and loved, performed as friends crowded the street of his store. In addition to the celebration, Jerry opened a bar down the street from the store called Man Cave to be dedicated to Frank. The bar features a theater in the back that will run clips of Frank, his personal motorcycles on display and photographs hung on the walls. Frank Fritz was placed under a conservatorship in August 2022, just weeks after he suffered a stroke. Frank's conservator was Midwest One Bank and was in charge of his finances. The bank agreed to invest Frank's money in antique collections to generate income. The guardian was his good friend Chris Davis. Chris was responsible for helping Frank manage his Crohn's disease treatment, go to physical therapy, grocery shop, cook, and more day-to-day tasks. The conservatorship also agreed to help replenish Frank's Iowa antique store, Frank Fritz Finds. A wheelchair ramp and more were installed in his Iowa home under the conservatorship. Frank was under the conservatorship until his death in September 2024. Frank left Americanpickers in 2020 to undergo back surgery. He never returned and was officially let go from the series in 2021. Frank revealed his feud with co-star Mike during an interview with the U.S. Sun in 2021. Mike, 60, and Frank made up during his health issues when they reunited over Memorial Day weekend of 2023. Mike and loved ones were by his side in hospice when he passed. The show now stars Mike, Robbie Wolf, John Jersey Saleh, and Danielle Colby. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Americanpickers 24, and stay with TS.